Hello everyone. Today I'm very happy to be speaking to Krupali Parshotam. Krupali works as the Education Policy Coordinator at Thomas Pocklington Trust. The Thomas Pocklington Trust is a national charity that supports blind and partially sighted people, focusing on education, employment and engagement. Hello, Kapali. Thank you for letting me talk to you today. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Um, how could you tell us a bit more about what you do at Thomas Pocklington Trust?
Yeah, so like you said, I am the Education Policy Coordinator in our education team for Thomas Pocklington Trust. I'm the first appointed person in this role, so it's quite new and it's quite varied. So I spend a lot of my time reading through different education policies made by the government and making sure that blind and partially sighted students get an equitable education. So it just makes it fair and equal so they have the same access to education as everybody else.
And what do you find interesting about your role at the Thomas Pocklington Trust?
Well, I've been in this role for just over a year now, and the most exciting parts of my job are to engage with MPs. So I've managed to do that. I get to talk to civil servants that work for the Department for Education. So I've been having conversations with policy team members and other members within education as well. I get to build a lot of contacts and I get to do networking with other charities that support blind and partially sighted students as well, such as RNIB, the Royal National Institute for the Blind, and Guide Dogs. But I also get to work with the wider sector of charities that support, advocate, and raise awareness for other disabled students as well.
Excellent. And could you tell us about the student support you guys provide at Thomas Pocklington Trust?
Sure. So, our student support services is a very unique service. We are the only service that provides direct support to students, mature students, parents, carers, and professionals. We support students that are 11 plus years old. Um, we provide a lot of resources and information online, so you could always visit our website at Thomas Pocklington Trust at the student support pages, where we have information about starting secondary school, how to access resources or your education, information about further education, information about technology, university. There's also stuff about being more active or getting involved in social events as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on our web pages. So if you have a chance, please check it out. If you can't find information there, then you can always contact our team. We have several members on the team who are great. They're very supportive, and somehow we always get the advice that students need. You can contact us in various ways. You can email us directly at studentsupport@pocklingtontrust.org.uk, or you could always visit our Facebook page, or you could visit on Twitter, or you can give us a call. So all the information you can find is online.
And what advice would you give to a child or young person with a visual impairment with regards to further education?
Well, this was a good question. So I would say keep on going. I know it's really hard and I know it can be quite challenging to navigate, especially when you're going from secondary into higher, further education. But it is really all worth it in the end. At the end of the day, you know you and you know what your needs are. So you should never be afraid to speak up, ask for what you need, and ask the questions as well. Don't be afraid to ask questions about what kind of support you need, when you need it, how you need it. Just be comfortable and be brave in just trying to get what you need to get. I know it's a bit of a challenge sometimes trying to get your lecturers or teachers or other members of staff on board to help you, but eventually it does happen and you can get there. So just keep on going, ignore the negative, comments or the negative feelings, and just put it in the back of your mind like white noise.
Perfect. Well said. That yeah, be resilient. That's very well said. As someone with a vision impairment, could you tell me what type of assistive technology you use in your everyday life?
So I spend most of my time at my desk with my laptop. So it is usually a screen reader. So that will allow me to navigate using the key commands on my keyboard, and it will read out where I am, what I'm doing. Even when I'm typing, it reads out everything to me as well. So I think for assistive tech, that is the main thing that I use. I also use magnification because I do have some sight left. So I will obviously increase my magnification to see where I am and what I'm doing. What else do I use? I'm a big cook, so I love cooking and baking. So I use talking scales to help me when I'm baking to make sure I get the right measurements and I'm doing it correctly. So that's good. And something I've recently got is a Clover Book Pro, which is a portable CCTV, which allows me to scan newspapers, books, letters, that I can either magnify or it will scan it and transfer it into speech, so it will read it out to me. So I think those are the main things I use on a day-to-day basis when I'm trying to navigate my world.
And how have Thomas Pocklington Trust supported you in your role, and what kind of how have they assisted you?
So Thomas Pocklington Trust is a inclusive employer, and I think 50% of our employees have a vision impairment. That's quite high. So they are very aware, and they're very supportive to all the employees that work there. They've assisted me trying to get my access to work. So access to work is a government grant which allows you to get support, equipment, and anything else that you may require to do your job if you have a disability. They've helped me with that. They made the environment very easy for me to work in. Everyone's just very friendly and kind. It's just a very nice place to work, and everyone's always understanding as well. So yeah.
That's perfect. That's brilliant. And do you think enough is done in society to support people with vision impairment? If not, what do you think are 3 major improvements that could be made to make the lives of people with a vision impairment easier?
I think there's always room for more improvement. And this was a tough one to narrow down three areas. But I believe there's access to information. So a lot of the time, information that is shared is always very visual. So that could mean you receiving your bank statements, you could be receiving your hospital appointments, or any kind of personal information about you in a format that is not always accessible to everybody. So I think that's one area in which Thomas Pocklington Trust are campaigning for, is to make sure we can receive, especially like your medical appointments and anything health related, in an accessible format, which is really important, because because, you know, we want to read it ourselves, and if an appointment's missed, it's not really our fault because we can't access the information. So that's probably one. The second one is transport. So better access for transport, I think. A better awareness of what blind and partially sighted people need when they're trying to travel independently and on their own, being able to book assistance when they need it, having better roads, having better pavements would be helpful. I enjoy walking a lot, but unfortunately I can't do it all the time. I am a white cane user, so I have a long white cane, and on occasion my cane can get stuck in an uplifted pavement or a pothole, and it will rebound into my stomach quite often. So I have come home with quite a few bruises on my stomach, which then, you know, makes me want to think, well, should I be walking or should I just get a taxi? But yeah, there could be a lot of things done for the transport to make it much more easy and accessible for everybody. And I think maybe the last one probably would be just raising more awareness of the needs and aspirations of blind and partially sighted people everywhere. So, you know, just raising that simple awareness of what is needed out there to the general public. But yeah, I think those three would be the top three in my book.
Is there anyone that has inspired you in any particular way in your life?
I think the people closest to me inspire me the most. My mum and dad, my family, my friends, they all inspire me to do more and to be more. I was very lucky growing up that I was never told that I can't do this or I can't do that, and they've always pushed me to do more. So it is my family and my friends that inspire me to do the things that I do. Yeah.
What is your favourite book? Do you read in Braille or listen to audiobooks?
So I do listen to audiobooks. Once upon a time, I was able to read books because I just like the texture and the smell of old books, and it's quite nice. But no, unfortunately now I read audiobooks. I wouldn't say I have a favourite book, but I know recently I read Anita Rani's biography. She is a TV presenter, and her book is called The Right Sort of Girl. And it kind of resonated me with a lot of things, and a lot of the things she had in the book were quite close to home. But also one of my other books that I'm still reading is Michelle Obama's book, Becoming, which is very interesting and very inspiring as well. So I think out of all the books that I've read so far, they would be the two that I have enjoyed the most. So yeah.
And do you have a favourite quote or saying?
Oh, so this was a tough one. I had to look a lot because there are a lot of quotes that I like, obviously related to different things. But I think the favourite one that I've heard recently is you need to feel comfortable. And when you feel comfortable, you feel confident. And when you feel confident, the world is your oyster. And that is by an Indian actress called Priyanka Chopra, which I randomly heard that quote somewhere, and it just kind of, I think it covers everything. I think it's a pretty good quote.
Excellent. Well, Kapul, it's been fantastic meeting you and hearing about what it's like to live with a visual impairment, but also what technologies and what you do. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for taking your time and have a very good day.
Oh, thank you so much, Khamani. It was really nice speaking to you as well. So yeah, if you have any other questions or you want to expand on anything, just ask as well. It's fine.
Thank you.